talk to Kasey about Kasey Powell Weddings and learn a little bit more about her and her business here in the Outer Banks.
Yeah, thanks for coming to my house.
Of course. Okay, well, before we start talking about you as a photographer, talk to us about being a crazy plant lady.
Yeah, it's definitely, I was just saying it was my COVID thing, I think. I used to work in a lot of cafes, and I think because I was forced to be in my house to work all the time alone, I needed, and I can't have pets because I travel a lot, so I just started buying, and it just hasn't stopped.
Yeah,
I love it.
Guys, if you can't see around her whole house, maybe we'll do a pan at the end.
Yeah.
But she literally has like beautiful, beautiful plants everywhere. They're so good.
Thank you.
So thanks for letting us see.
Of course, hey, thanks for coming here. I feel super comfy with my plants. So.
Yay. So how long have you been doing Kasey Powell Weddings? How long have you been doing photography?
Yeah, so Kasey Powell Weddings, only 2 years. Photography, probably since 2015.
Okay.
I went to school for social work. I got my degree in social work and always worked in nonprofits, which I absolutely love. It's definitely another sole passion of mine. But I also love traveling, and when I graduated from college, I knew I just wanted to travel, and I grew up here on the Outer Banks, so I knew I could come back here and make money.
Yeah.
So I was a tour guide for the Wild Horses in Corolla for a long time, and I bought a camera for my travels, and I just started taking pictures. And I actually loved Photoshop a lot.
Yeah.
I really like photography, but I really love Photoshop. I'd be like, okay, let me just take whatever picture I can take, and then I'll go in Photoshop and make it look really cool. And then I got really tired of photoshopping for like 2 hours, so I was like, okay, how can I do this in my camera? And it was kind of like a snowball effect where I'm really into like binge watching YouTube and like educational videos, and I just watched endless amounts of videos and got really good with my camera and did pictures for people, and eventually people just started asking me to do couples pictures and weddings, and I didn't think I was gonna like it, to be honest. I thought I'd be more into commercial work, but my first wedding I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then my couple shoots, I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I meant to do, because social work really taught me, it's basically therapy.
Yeah.
It really taught me how to interact with people and open people up and empathize with them and connect with them. And it's like, I do a lot of that on the wedding day. So then it just kind of clicked, and it's just like blown up from there, and it's all I really do is weddings and couples. I do other stuff, but I prefer weddings and couples.
That's awesome. So you really use like that therapy side of things, like that relationship building to just create that with your couples.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
For sure. Yeah, honestly, I think more than a photographer, I am a friend on the wedding day. Like even in like one of my guides that I send to my couples, I say that I'm not a vendor. I am a friend, and we can do what we want. You can say what you want, and like that's how we're gonna capture your day as authentically as possible. And I always leave by like hugging everybody, and it's like I just feel super connected to everyone. So
That's really cool. I remember reading back whenever you were doing magazine submissions for this year, you were you like wrote like these like long paragraphs about how much you like loved the couples and like loved working with them. We could definitely hang out next time you're in the Outer Banks and stuff like that. So speak to a little bit about that. Like, do you have like past couples that you still like to stay in contact with and hang out with?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be funny if any of them watch these, because I have awesome relationships. The couple in the sand dunes, Valerie and Steven, they actually told me to come to Mexico because they all like just went on vacation, and I love them so much. But it's just so funny because the weddings that ended up in the magazine this year one of them was my best friend, Jess and Justin, and then Tina and Jake. Like, it's just crazy how much I connect with these people. It's insane. But all of them, not that I don't connect with everybody, I do, but like some of them, like, we are meant to be best friends.
Yeah.
And all of those people were where people were, like, I probably interact with them on social media every single day, and like their personal ones. So yeah, I just think it's naturally who I am. I'm like really into being super genuine. I am just myself all the time. On the wedding day, I'm myself. I make sure everyone is feeling like themselves, and I think the people who are drawn to my work, which is more candid and documentary and lifestyle, and just fun, are like people who probably are into the same things I am or have the same taste I do, because that's the type of work I'm drawn to personally. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so okay, you kind of just like led me into another question about like what sets you apart, and I think that obviously everything you just said, but then touching on too, like you're less of like a posy, like traditional, like, okay, group shots, this kind of thing. Talk to us a little bit about like your style of like candid photography and that kind of thing, because I think that is something that sets you apart.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I really love portraits. I think it's really fun for me is because I probably, really the parents and the grandparents are probably very happy and impressed when they get their full album, because I'm really good at portraits and like the post stuff, mainly just making it look good. I just don't post any of it. It's not on my website. I'm updating my website now with new weddings, but like no portraits are on there, no group shots, but I really love them, and I know everyone like will print them and they're important, but yeah, it's just personal. Like they're hiring me as a human being. Like I think business is important and professionalism is important, but they're just hiring me. Like I'm a plant person. I like to garden. I go to the beach, I hang out with my friends, you know. They're just hiring me to come, and I happen to be good with pictures, you know? So I think that my couples feel that, and it really puts them at ease, and it disarms them, and they can be who they are on this day. Like, if they could have no strangers on these days, they would. Like, if I were to have a wedding and I could have everything I wanted but not have any strangers there, I would do that. Yeah. I mean, as amazing as, like, I know all the vendors are, we're still strangers. So
Absolutely.
So I think, and it's really, like, it means so much to me, where it's like, you're just letting me come in and I'm watching first looks, I'm watching you cry with your mom or your dad, or like all of that.
Moments.
Really intimate moments that are gonna be with them for the whole lives, and it's like, you're letting me come in and like not only letting me be there for that. So backpedaling, I just put emphasis on all of that, and I think they feel it, and like the comfort and being seen just shines through the work, and I think that's what people see with my work is I do still pose. Like, I still will put people in places and be like...
Because you have to. You can't... Like, you hit the nail on the head. Grandparents want that. Parents want that. Like, you need those photos. But you're also getting the ones that, like, they don't even know are happening. Yeah. And they're going to cherish those memories, too.
For sure.
You got to have both.
Yeah, for sure. So it all just accumulates, and, like, I build relationships before my weddings, and, like, you know, I just try to be as, like, much as a friend as possible. So when it comes time to the day, it's just like, oh, it's just Kasey. She's just here, you know, doing her thing, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Love that. All right, so being in the Outer Banks, most of the couples that come here to get married are from out of town, not from here. So what would be the best advice that you can give couples, or what do you think that they should know before booking you or coming here for a wedding?
Yeah. So I think I would answer this generally first before I specify for the Outer Banks, which is like, start meditating, because the wedding day and the wedding week flies by. I think, like, separate from photography and separate from everything, like, it's so important for me and like for my couples. It's like, just enjoy it. Like, don't worry about all these things. I mean, worry about it, because the more stress you have before the wedding day, to get the wedding day stress-free is like #1 piece of advice. But just like be present and enjoy it, and like learn to breathe into moments, and like not only from a photography standpoint, but it's just like every single wedding, it gets to the end of the wedding, they're like, oh my gosh, it's over. And you know, it's like sometimes we get caught up in emotions and like what's happening, what's not happening. So I think my biggest piece of advice, my best friend's getting married this Saturday and I'm shooting it, and I've sent her reminders like 10 days out, 7 days out, 3 days out, and I'm like, drink it in, your family's here, like this is never gonna happen again, like enjoy it. So that's my first piece of advice.
That's
generally.
awesome advice.
Mm-hmm. But
100% agree.
Like, so for prep work, so when couples book me, after they book me, I send like a 50-page wedding guide out, and it goes over lighting, ceremony, vendors, details, like all these little things that are just like little prep details that can help. So there's a lot provided in there, but you know, I think I'm like big into wedding planners. Like, not only do they make my life easier, but it's just on the wedding day, there's so many things going on. It's an event. It's like, unless there's like 5 people or 10 people, even that's pretty eventish. But like, it is a full event, and having a wedding planner and like you just being a bride or groom, just be a bride or groom. Don't be a bride or groom plus the mediator between this person and that person. So I think investing in at least day of coordinator, month of coordinator, full planner is like money well spent, even if you have to like cut back somewhere else. Like, do 2 hours less with a photographer and put the budget into a planner, because it'll make your day so much better and makes the pictures better because you're not off running around. I also think, it helps when couples work with me. I give away engagement sessions for my larger packages, and it's really just so we can get to know each other and like hang out. Like, we can do whatever they want. Pictures are great. I'm glad for them to get pictures, but it's more for us to hang out. So a suggestion would be like, try to work with your photographer beforehand. If that's me or someone else, like, it doesn't matter, because when I show up, I can be like, oh, it's Kasey, especially the guys. The guys hate photos. And I'm pretty good with the guys now. But yeah, I think if you can meet your photographer and work with them beforehand, it'll really pay off. And then ask me questions, like ask your photographer questions, like email me random stuff, and like I will have answers, and I have answers for everything. So yeah.
That's good.
And that kind of goes back to like your relationship building and like how you do like to show up and just be their friend. And so doing an engagement session or some type of meeting beforehand really opens that door just to make it that much easier.
Yeah, 100%. The wedding I talked about earlier, Jake and Tina, the one that's in the magazine with the sparklers and the veil at Manio. We did an engagement session in February, and it was like 30 degrees.
No.
It was at Pea Island. It was blowing like 35 miles per hour, and we were like, all right, screw it, like we're going for it. And we had never met before. We all immediately clicked, but it was so freezing. We all had to like huddle under the blanket together. Like, I mean, me and Tina and Jake were all just like this for like, because my hands would be so freezing, I couldn't work with the camera anymore. So it's just like, that obviously disarms all of us. And Valerie and Steven in the magazine, we had never met before. So I don't want it to make it seem like if you don't meet me, like it's not gonna be amazing. I'm really good about connecting with people and making you feel comfortable, because it will make the day better. But so you don't need to do it, right? Either way, I'll be your best friend. But it helps if you can do it, because it'll just ease your nerves, and because you'll just feel even more confident that like, okay, photography is not that big of a deal. It's not that uncomfortable. It's really easy. I'm gonna look amazing. I think that's the biggest fear for everyone. It's like, am I gonna look good? I'm not good in front of the camera. And it's just like, it's just not even like that. At least not for my style of photography. It's like, I'll pose when I need to, but it's just like, be yourself, have fun. One more tip that I think is really great, and this applies to like guests and anybody anywhere really in the world, but like, don't change what you're doing. Like, don't try to make everything picture perfect, because there's a wedding I just did, and I can see what all my couples download. I see what pictures they pick, which I love, because what my favorites are probably not their favorites, or it's something
interesting.
Something that's, because it's like, when you're looking at my portfolio and you're seeing these photos, like, you're drawn to my style, but when I deliver your album, you're gonna love what I send you. It doesn't matter if they're all perfect images, because it's like, it's your family, it's your friends, it's your emotions. Like, it's going to feel so deep, and it's going to be amazing. And so that's where like your time with me is what's gonna be most impactful. But the pictures of me capturing people being themselves, like stuffing their face with food or like yelling like this, like those are the hilarious ones. And I barely captured this moment of a groomsman. Like, he had a huge cigar and a like whiskey on ice and like sunglasses, and he was like laughing about, and it was like the smoke was all around him, and he was like laughing, and I captured it, thank God. But as soon as I got it, he was like, oh no, don't take that. I mean, he thought it was being funny, like,
because probably now his profile picture.
Because people think they're like, oh
I'm sure
yeah,
it's
exactly, it's picture. Because people are like, oh, that's not what photography is, because of what traditional, specifically wedding photography has been, which is fine if that's what people are into. But when we had film, we didn't have these like cameras where you could shoot 5,000 frames in a day. You did need to be sparing with your images. But now that we're out of that, people are still so programmed from, I think, being kids and like smiling and standing still, that they like switch out of that. And that just like, don't do that. Just keep being yourselves. And if I'm shooting it, it's probably because it looks good. And he stopped what he was doing right after that. And that was like one of the 20 pictures they downloaded out of 200 from the first album. So it's like, just be yourself and like have fun, and don't think about what you look like, because I can make you look good.
That's such an interesting point you just made about like film and like having it to be perfect, and now people still like, feel like that's what's required. That's such an interesting point.
Which moves into trends.
Okay, so what trends do you want to see die, and what trends are you super looking forward to?
So when I was preparing for this, I only thought about things for like maybe 10 or 15 minutes, just because I do like to let things roll off my head. But one of the things I think I'm really grateful, I'm a silver lining person. Like, I will find a silver lining in anything. It's ridiculous. I'm glad, because I think that helps. But one of the things I think was really great about COVID, it has taught people that you don't have to do things if you don't want to do them. A wedding does not have to have a cake cutting if you don't want a cake cutting. Yeah, you don't like cake.
Ice cream.
If you want pizza.
You have your ice cream.
Yeah.
Right. If you want pizza, you cut your pizza. You eat your pizza.
Right. What?
Yes.
Like whatever. Or like, if you don't want to go to the beach for an engagement shoot and you want to go to Jolly Rogers at 11 at night and do karaoke with me, like, let's do it. Like,
life's too short to do what you think you have to do.
Yes, and COVID has shown people that because they were forced to cut away their guest list. They were forced to cut away, and on one end it sucks, right? Like, shout out to all the brides and vendors who like did this past year and a half, because it's been terrible. Like, just to put that word out there. But you know, I think what we're gonna see is like we're gonna just see really cool stuff. Like, let's go and elope with, like, these are my best friends. Like, these are my people. Or if you still want to do a 200 event wedding, like, maybe just the way you're, like, more thankful for it. And you will see maybe different emotions. Like, people just being in one place together, like, they're just happy to, like, touch each other. And I don't know, maybe we just forgot that. Or, you know, it's easy to take things for granted when we live such, like, a blessed life. And, like, the world that we do, at least me personally. So, I think we're going to see a lot of really creative, really cool, really emotional things, and people are going to just,
like, true to themselves.
Yeah, like, screw it. Life is too short. Like, let's do what we want. Like, we don't have to do these things. Like, and I do try to help my couples see that. I, like, want them to feel supported and heard, and you want to do a cake cutting because you think that's awesome, like, let's do it. But sometimes people's eyes glass over when they do certain things because it's just what you do at a wedding.
Yeah.
So I think COVID is going to bring that out. More technical trends, I'm a big fan of art, and like, I get into arguments about people about music and like what good music is and bad music, and I'm like, it's all art, who cares? So for photography, like, you know what, I'm all about trends, bad trends, good trends. Like, it is fun, it's artistic. Social media is incredible. Like, the ability to have social media and to see into people's like lives and I don't know, I think it's super cool. So I'm down for whatever. I think couples can find exactly who they want and like the style that they want. Like, some, like, what I do, I don't want couples that don't want me, you know what I mean? Like, I don't put portraits on my website, not because I don't do them, I'm not good at them, but because like I just want someone to like see my work and resonate it with it, and like that's why they want me. Same thing with everyone else. Like, we have so many amazing photographers here. I mean, there's just insane photographers everywhere in the world, and it's like,
a lot of talent. Find
who you speak to, and then like find who you connect to. And like, if you're into some like funky trend, like, go for it. And that's why I think, like, as an artist, like, put it out there. You know, I mean, I was just telling you guys I hired someone to help me with my admin and all these things that you have as a small business that are not art. And tedious and things that are important for running a business. But one of the reasons I hired somebody is because like I need to be creating more. Like, I want to be creating things that maybe my couples aren't booking me for, that are weird and funky and like just me, and that I can put out there, and that maybe will inspire them or move them to doing what they want to do. Same, like, I want to go so bad to like Jolly Rogers or something and do like an engagement or couple shoot, just because it's ridiculous. And like, maybe no one will ever do that, but it just goes back full circle into like, do what you want. Like, there's no rules. Like, whoever you are, like, encapsulate that, because when you're 80 years old and you're looking back on it, like,
that'd be funny.
This was who we are, and like, we weren't just like, I mean, I don't like to even say what people should or shouldn't do, so it's just like, just be yourself, and like, it will be amazing.
That'd be cool with Christmas lights outside, right?
Someone did one at Five Guys.
Really?
Yeah,
I remember it was like some type of shoot at Five Guys or something, but I completely agree with that. Like, you can still do photos on the beach. Like, obviously you're getting married in the Outer Banks, so like, there's a chance that you love the beach, and so definitely get those photos. But also like, switch it up and do something that's really true to you, and get both things. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Yeah, exactly. People ask me, I just actually had someone email me recently. They're like, we're already getting married on the beach, so we'll have those pictures if you have any other suggestions. I'm so glad they asked me, because I mean, people are coming here, like, all the way back to the first question. Like, people are coming to the Outer Banks because it's the Outer Banks. And I love beach pictures, like, they're all beautiful. But when people ask me like, what location do you love? I'm like, well, what do you do back home? Where do you go? Like, where did you fall in love? Where was your first date? Where do you go and you guys laugh until you cry? Like, what is that? And is that something like that we can find here? And if that is the beach, because like the ocean speaks to you so much, like, let's go for it. Dogs. Oh my God, I love dogs. I have a whole highlight on my Instagram called Wedding Pups. And like, I think they make everything better. Like,
Always.
Animals, like everything, like whatever just makes you feel like you, just make that happen, because it'll shine through your photos and it'll just.
Yeah, if you're doing something you love, you're gonna be comfortable and it's just gonna come through.
Yes, and all the pictures that people see, like in the magazines, all those people, that's exactly what they did. And the things that I put on my Instagram and the things I think people really resonate with my work is like, those people were probably doing that. Like, we connected, they were comfortable, they were like loving life, and that's all. That's the goal. If you can do that, then I can make it look real good.
Yeah.
So we're talking about, like capturing more organic documentary style types of photos, whether it's family pictures or weddings. The bigger wedding photographers, you get to luxury photographers, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 for a wedding photographer. Yeah. I mean, more. And they are amazing. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever. That's what I aspire to, because I love traveling way too much. I like to go and travel and not work for a part of the year. But anyways, they go for 4 days, 5 days. They get everyone arriving. They get everyone hanging out for welcome dinners, and it may seem more luxury, but in all reality, it's like, man, those are like, there's some really awesome moments happening those times. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I think what COVID again did, and what trends we're probably going to see, and what things that I'm probably going to start like moving into is like, yeah, when everyone's just sitting at dinner, like when you look back on that in 50 years, it's like grandpa telling his same joke that he's told like 50 times and you laughing at, like, you're going to remember that feeling and that smell and that like the mm-hmm. feeling that when you hugged your grandpa just from like looking at that picture. Mm-hmm. And I think, again, it goes back to what we were talking about when we had film and we had limited ability. It was very expensive to get film developed. Yeah. And you had 20 frames, you know what I mean? And you prioritize like, our grandparents and parents.
Picture perfect.
Yeah, you stand and you smile, and the next generation gets it. The generations below us, they get it. Yeah. They know what's up with TikTok and social media and like the trends that you're seeing, like anti-photography, anti-posing, anti-brides. Like, it's incredible. I personally love it, and I don't think we're completely out of that yet. But again, you pick your photographer based off what you're feeling, and it's like, I think we're gonna start seeing people realize how important these little moments are. And this is my biggest philosophy on life, not just weddings, but it's just like, they've done so many studies on what's important in life, and it's your relationships mm-hmm. over anything. And if you capture just the true nature of who you're with and like drinking that in, man, that's just gonna be so impactful, rather than you like standing and smiling somewhere where you don't really care that you are. Not that that's art isn't pretty too, because you can get both. But yeah, just the idea of like
shifting our focus.
Yeah, and like what are your favorite pictures? Like, go through your camera roll and like what makes you laugh out loud. And it's probably like your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your partner doing something stupid, and it's an iPhone photo. Yeah. Honestly, or it's a professional photo and it's of someone doing something ridiculous, because it makes you feel. So bring your think outside the box. Bring your photographer to not the picture perfect things. Like, who cares? I literally had to deliver like 500 to 1,000 pictures in a wedding album. You are not going to print all of them. A quarter of them are going to go to family and friends, and they're going to like having them. But like, you'll print maybe 100 if you do an album. You'll print maybe 5 to put on your walls. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, there's only a handful that you're going to get. And I bet if you were to have me or anybody else there for dinner or breakfast, or just where people are just relaxed, or like someone getting their hair cut, like a 3-year-old, just mom doing like, those are the ones that are just gonna like melt your heart. And think about that when you're prepping. It's not about always what goes on Instagram and what looks good. Like, Pinterest boards and Instagram should inspire you, but just be connected, and it'll come through.
I agree. I love loving like all the photo dumps people are doing now. Mm-hmm. They just like empty their camera rolls and they're like, this is like what made me happy this week, stuff like that.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's just so incredible. And I think we're going to see that in the next 20, 30, 40 years. It's just
less curated, more real life. You mentioned like favorite photos, and I was like thinking, I was like, what's one of my favorite? And it's literally me being attacked by my friend's dog, right? Like I'm not even looking at the camera. I'm just like laughing hysterically, and this dog is like on top of me, like sitting, and it's on top of me and like licking my face. I'm like, that's probably one of my very favorite photos because I'm just so happy in that moment. You can just like see how happy. Those are the ones that like you remember. Like that was 5 years ago, but it just popped in my head.
No, I
You
love
remember that kind of stuff.
And you remember the feeling, and your brain releases those chemicals again. You know what I mean? And you can't fake, like, if you're doing something and you're kind of faking chemicals or like faking emotion. Not to sound super nerdy and like scientific, I'm pretty also into that type of stuff. But like, yeah, if you're cooking breakfast or dinner or something you do with your family, and like you're prompted to just interact or like get like just wrestle with dogs, like those are real things that are getting released and real emotions you're feeling. So when you look back on those pictures, it's gonna be like your brain remembers and all the senses will happen again. So
instead of just smile,
you know,
that's quite the same.
It's just not. But like again, it's just full circle back to like, if that is what you are drawn to and that's what makes your heart happy and that's what you want to have on your wall, like 100% go for it. And there's some insane photographers who do that, and I can do it, but it's just not my strong suit.
And it's okay to have all the things.
It's okay to have all the things.
It's okay to have all the things.
Yes, it's okay to just want everything.
I agree. So, sorry.
No, just keep going. Keep going. I was just gonna go right into the passion project thing.
Yes, I was gonna say, I was like, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So do you have any like things on the horizon that you want to tell everybody? You know, maybe a passion project you have, or like something that you just really want to tell people about Kasey Powell weddings?
For sure. Well, first off, again, I know I've said it, but like I'm just a person. I'm just another human. Like I just am good at photos, and I'm good at like connecting and making you feel good. So, honestly, like follow me on Instagram, follow my work page. I have my personal Instagram linked on my work Instagram, my photo Instagram. Like follow me, see if you think I'm funny, or if like I make you laugh, or if I share things you like, because that means like the 6 or 8 hours you're gonna spend with me on your wedding day is gonna be way more fun. Most of the people that I work with I'm really connected to just as a person. But some passion projects I am doing, I'm actually going to Guatemala in 1 month, and I'll go for 2 weeks. I love travel. I guess I should like share some things about myself. I love plants, I love traveling, I love like
animals.
I love animals, dogs, really animals in any photo shoot is amazing. I love Neil deGrasse Tyson. I love, you know, a lot of social justice movements. I'm like pretty passionate in general about things. So, you know, just follow me and you'll see the things I like. But so I love travel. It's one of my huge passions, and it's how I got into this whole industry, is because it gives me lots of flexibility in the summer. I mean, in the winter, I don't book weddings after October 23rd and before April 15th. I block it all off because I just want to have the freedom to travel, finish editing, do more branding. I like will go and like work with, I went to Kansas this past winter and I worked with a dream photographer that I follow on Instagram. Oh my God, it was incredible. So I like to just do winter to like plants do, like die and like, you know, reborn and like get ready for the spring. So anyways, I'm getting to go to Guatemala for 2 weeks in a month, and I'm gonna bring a huge wedding dress that I found on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm contacting some wedding planners now. I'm gonna try to do like a big photo shoot there. I don't know if I like want to get into travel weddings. I think I would, but just more of the fun ones. And then I also have, I think this fall, once things slow down, I have this super old retro, like high-low vintage wedding dress, and I'm like envisioning some type of seafoam vintage fun car like photo shoot. So like I definitely have some photo shoots that I have planned for this year that it's art that I want to create, but also art that I want my couples to be inspired by and have even more of a reason to be like, okay, this is the style that we're going for. So yeah, and the last thing on that is I never use my camera outside of work. I'm like, I'm so over it. By the time I'm like done shooting, I'm like, nope, I'm not taking pictures of anything. Like everyone else can take pictures. I do a lot of videos. I make like little videos of my life, which I think is fun. But I took some photos when I was in Mexico on my last trip, and I finally edited them a couple weeks ago and put them on my Instagram, and I was like, these are so good. These are so fun. Like, this was such an amazing time. So I think I'm gonna start bringing my camera out more around my normal life and normal things, and just like that's more personal based. Like, I've just learned how important photos are in general, and taking the time to
Touching the other things.
Yeah, and not just people kissing and running around.
Yeah.
So you are relatively new to Abwa. I think you joined sometime at the end of last year. How do you feel being a part of the wedding association has helped Kasey Powell Weddings, or what do you think are the advantages of it so far?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big proponent of community in general. I think it's awesome, as small as this island is, that it has such like a really well organized, really well functioning organization. That's kudos to you guys, because it's really incredible, because you find a lot here, a lot of small businesses, things don't always work as well as they do in like larger cities, so you guys are crushing it. So that, for me, I was like, okay, not only is this like the face of Outer Banks Weddings, so I naturally need to be a part of it, because even if this is more like vendor talk than couple talk, if they've made it this far, if anyone's made it this far. But
We hope you have.
Yeah, we hope you're here. Thank you so much. 10% off any print you want if you made it this far. Okay, DM me for a discount. But yeah, so God, I lost my train of thought. What was
You're
I
saying vendor talk.
Oh yeah, vendor talk. So sorry for losing my train of thought. Sometimes I'll just go off on tangents, but I'm an artist. So yeah, it's like, even if I don't get any bookings, right? Like, I'm still a business, I still want to get bookings. They're not the reason I operate, but still, you want to get bookings. But separate from that, it's like, it's just good to be a part of a community to build trust. When you're part of something like an organization like Abwa, and you've gone through the process to get approved, you've talked to these people, they can see your work, they've approved you. Like, you automatically gain an amount of trust, like as a business, as Kasey Powell Weddings. I am more trustworthy for anybody, couples, vendors, if I'm part of the association. So to me, it was a no-brainer. It's like, okay, if I want to have like a real business, I need to be a part of the association. So on top of that, like I was saying, yeah, you guys are just crazy organized. You're crazy on deadlines. You're great at responding. So for me, the expectation goes far and beyond what my experience with most businesses in general. So it's been great just to work as a vendor with you guys. And you guys like put a lot of thought into your like how to benefit the community, whether it's brides or vendors or whoever. You know, you guys are going above and beyond, and I don't get to participate in a lot of it because I'm either crazy busy or I don't want to work. I just I don't want to do something because I just want to go sit at the beach or watch Survivor on my couch for like 5 hours. So, but it's awesome to see, and I think I don't know where I'd be if I hadn't joined with you guys. I can't really speak to that because I just did. But like being in the magazine, which wouldn't have been an opportunity, which like I've got like 3 of them in my cabinet, and like someone comes over, I'm like, yeah, look how amazing this is. You know, so it's like just the fact that our community has something.
Yeah.
A community this small, because we do have a massive wedding industry that's so well put together, and you guys do your own thing. Are you full time with? And you have your whole other wedding planning business. Like, you are insane. It's awesome. So I'm just
wildly insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, we're happy to have you as a part of Abwa. We're glad you joined us.
Thank you.
And we know that all the brides and grooms out there have loved seeing your work come across lately. So
thank you. I'm so excited to put out everything from this year, and thank you for watching and coming to my house and seeing all my
Thanks for having us.
And my Instagram is @Kasey Powell Photo. My website is KaseyPowellWeddings.com. You can find my personal Instagram on my photo Instagram if you want to kick it with me with all the fun stuff. And any other questions, you can DM me and follow along.
Cool.
Go give her a follow. Thanks guys for joining us.